long there.
There is an art and craft exhibition for those of you who have not seen those things in front of the wide hall behind the two canopies standing to your right. I'll remind our guests that there is an exhibition of arts and crafts of this kingdom in front of the wide hall, which is behind the two canopies standing to the right. When you get there, you will discover a lot for yourselves. I want to say that the incoming President General of Convoy, the Kemal Greek, will make a statement as the funds were retired. While all other dancers prepare, we will listen to that statement as soon as I will execute. Also, sometimes, even the officials in China, even if they're ready, we don't go to it. Even if they're ready, we don't go to it.
Enters the ceremonial ground with funds from neighboring kingdoms. He is accompanied to his throne by notables of his village.
You can see the people moving into the Fun's palace of Fonju. You can see the Fun's entrance. The people moving into the palace. As you can see, that is the entrance into the Fun's palace. See the giant crowd that's going to move into the palace to hoist the second Ambazonian flag at the palace of Fonju. You can see the people declaring their independence. The people of Ambazonia celebrate the day, 1st October 2017. The people have taken their... That's the Fun's palace of Fonjumeta. Alors, subdivision, the BLM division. You can see the people gathered already in the Fun's palace, waiting for the huge crowd to come join for the celebration. As you can see, the huge crowd join another crowd at the Fun's palace. You can see the huge population of about 10,000 in their number. With the Brazilian flag presently in their hands. You can see the women of Brazilian.
You have just 3 minutes. Yes. Oh, my God, no. Yes, but it's okay, no? But what would be careful about?
Look, Smith.
Nkang Douala should be getting ready. Nkang Douala should be getting ready. Please, those who are the center of the courtyard, please move behind. Lengang Bongo, your time is up. Your time is up.
They can't drive with them. They will come. I think I carry with them now. You go and see the rest. Go tell them they will come.
Vale, what do you know? Thank you, Lengang Bongo, yeah? Your time is up. The Nkang Douala should come in. Nkang Douala. Nkang Douala, you have 2 minutes more. 2 minutes. Please, we are pleading those who are under the tree there to leave. Please, those who are under the tree, you have to move right behind. Please, the people at the tree, we are pleading that they should leave the place. Please leave the courtyard. Please, those standing under the tree should move backward.
can see how the population. You can see the population. That is the great king, Field Marshal. Increase the population. Increase the population. You can see a wonderful man crowd. You can see a wonderful man crowd. That is that to the feeling. That is it, take a seat. That governs as Field Marshal on the occasion of the 1st of October 2019. See today, 1st of October 2019, Independence Day of the Amazonian. You can see the wonderful mammoth population that gathered in this palace for this occasion. What is about to happen now is the military display.
After spending over 2 hours at the residence of the Senior Divisional Officer for Menua Division in the West Region of Cameroon, Southwest Governor Mr. Bernard Okaliabila is heading to Lebialem Division for the installation of the new Senior Divisional Officer for that division. Security is top on the agenda, and the Rapid Intervention Battalion B is leading the convoy. Just after Alo, the Southwest Governor's convoy is halted for the combat-ready security forces to scan the environment, and everywhere was seemingly quiet. But in Tinlewo village, the atmosphere was different.
We're serious under attack now. We're under attack. That's bullet you're getting in the background. We have been attacked here. We are just entering level now.
Governor Bernard Okaliabila of the Southwest region came under attack. From the bushes, the unidentified armed men rained down bullets on the Southwest Governor's convoy from the surrounding forested hills. Security forces responded immediately, and the gun battle lasted for some few minutes.
We are driving out of level now. A while ago, the governor's convoy was almost halted. Of course, we witnessed some exchange of fire between the security forces and unknown armed civilians. We have not seen them, but we felt their impact. We are still having some couple of minutes to get to Menji, chief town of the Bialem Division.
The convoy finally made its way to Menji, chief town of the Bialem Division. The town of Menji is not the same again. Menji is now having a picture of a war zone. At the Senior Divisional Officer's office, marks of the 22nd March attack on Mr. Ongito Zakari, the then Senior Divisional Officer for the Bialem Division, was very visible. His official car was heavily chopped by bullets from the unidentified armed men. Judging from the damages, some military sources revealed that those who must have inflicted such damages are heavily sophisticated. It was during this attack that a delegate was killed and Mr. Ongito Zakari seriously wounded.
This is your new Senior Divisional Officer. Mr. Senior Divisional Officer Eta Ashu Mbokaya. Take command.
After the installation of Mr. Eta Bokaya Ashu as the Senior Divisional Officer for the Bialem Division, the Southwest Governor Mr. Bernard Okaliabila's convoy is heading back to Boya via the West region, and just ascending Lewo village again. The Southwest governor came under a more serious attack that lasted longer than the previous.
Dangerous. This is the second time. It was in this same place when we were going that this convoy was attacked. And in that same spot in Lewo, the convoy again has been attacked. They are getting the sound. Gunfire may change between the security forces and armed civilians. Pray that we make it alive. We are zipping out of the PLM division now, and following the security situation, it is on record that the Southwest Governor's Convoy was attacked twice, of course along the Chang Menji Road, specifically in Lewo. We have managed to forge our way through thanks to the heavily security deployment over here. I am Derek Jato on the security situation along the Chang Menji Road for Equinox Television News.
Yeje ebangu yeje namutama I yaha
Okay, complete.
I make this video because I want to say, make the Amazonian government know. Say Red Dragon, they work. Some people there for bush, they take them for Red Dragon, take and thief money for government job. And this particular video I make them against Tapang Ivo. And I want to say, make Tapang Ivo from today. May no say free marshal. Not be man will get for work, and then another person take a work, take and chop money. And I give Tapang Ivo first warning as I guess I come up from the BLM. Tapang Ivo never ever call the Red Dragon, never ever call free marshal. So I want to make them for understand. So I know they for ground, for joke. For inside the BLM here. Now Red Dragons, they operate and when they under ASC. I talk for more than hear me fine. I say Red Dragon, they under ASC. The interim government will not be in another kind of small soldier them. All people when they sit down for bush. They say they get come. I want to make one for understand. Say any person who should run for any place. I just say Tapang Ivo say it is send Red Dragon money. But 1 5 round, I don't even know Tapang Ivo. And even for call, I never ever make any call. Tapang Ivo never ever call me. Since Red Dragons, it is for inside the BLM. Red Dragons, alive? No. Red Dragons, alive? No. No, in the people. Not the people. So what's the matter with the work? No. Let them know that because I disgrace Tapang Ivo from today. And if I hear you mob again, when I know something, this is my baby. This is my baby. I will follow him with my baby. You hear me? Yes, you hear me? Yes, with the sleep of both, with the sleep of both of we? No, we know he? No, my group of people that were here for bush. And I warn you from today, me the female shah, I want Tapang Ivo. May stop his nonsense video for collect money. Come on. You know what raise from my work. Okay? Yes.
Abong. Wonder mabong day. Big wonder mabong day. Wonder mabong day. Big wonder mabong day. Wonder mabong day. Big wonder mabong day. Big wonder mabong day. Bonde, big wonder mabong day. Wonder mabong day. Big wonder mabong day. Oh, big wonder mabong day. Oh, wonder mabong day. Big wonder mabong day. Wonder mabong day. Big wonder mabong day. Wonder mabong day. Big wonder mabong day. Big wonder mabong day. Oh, big wonder mabong day. Wonder mabong day. Wonder mabong day. Wonder mabong day. Ah!
Amazonia. Oh, my leader. When this war don't do them for grace. All my sisters, them, all my brothers, for the whole Amazonia, they want them for prison. Oh, Papa, that's some for Convoy prison. Father, Samuel, God bless you, Papa. No one has stay strong. And all the leaders for Amazonia, when they for prison. Let us see one now. We no go tire. For some years we talk about Boya. But now with the push close to that foot of the mountain, for the White House, the presidency for Southern Cameroon. For Boya. We get for focus. All the leaders they made a focus. No people they want bring we for back. We the born before, we know the born back. The mabonge, mbige mwende mabonge, mwende mabonge, mbige mwende mabonge, mwende mabonge, mbige mwende mabonge, mwende mabonge. My Lord Jesus is so good. My Lord Jesus is so good. Hey! Yes. For defense for Amazonia. 70 Greece for Amazonia. May God bless you. Mama Arinda. Oh, when I stand strong, we are win the war. Even as we get plenty challenges, some people want to fight with. When I put them aside, we will focus. Until Amazonia be free. When I see sister Team Marshall, I know the look might be stuck for them. We need to focus. All my brothers, all my commanders. You can't enjoy the sun and pray. Some of you declare for way. We get for focus. Until we reach for ya. So they take a go. For 3 hours. So that no person who there for talk. And that one not do that. We go in for ya. We go in for ya. If you don't believe with me, say oh one day. God will open that door them for that prison when I will come out. Now see Masha from Basin at the top.
Carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I say, we want to know who owns the land. I want to know who owns the land. Aslan, hey, Papa Aslan, Papa Aslan, Papa Aslan. It must be free. Angola want to know who owns the land. Mozambique want to know who owns the land. Namibia want to know who owns the land. I say, Soweto want to know who owns the land. Zimbabwe want to know who owns the land. African freedom fighters want to know who owns the land. Papa Slam. Now listen to the history. baba. Yeah, oh, fali mu jasu ya leko. Yeah, fali mu tizanya leko ye. Oh, me ye. Yeah, tolere, oh me ye. Oh, demelo demna bogise. Oh, fali mu demelo demna bogiso.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the broadcast today. I am excited to be back here with you. It is a very, very special weekend, a very, very special weekend. Of course, for those of us who hail particularly from the BLM, and of course, as an Ambazonian, it should be a very, very special weekend for all of us. Please, I am excited to have you out there watching from ground zero, watching from Kenya, watching from ground one, watching from Gabon, watching from Sierra Leone, watching from across the continent of Africa. Please, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching by way of Facebook and YouTube, go ahead and hit your share button. Let us populate this social media platform. Before I start coming to you with my broadcast tonight, please go ahead and hit your share button. Right after me, Amber Roots with Comfort will be up at 8 p.m. Amber 8 p.m. Amber time. But ladies and gentlemen, I am excited. I am here with you with some updates on the revolution. I don't want to call it the revolution. I want to call it a struggle. Ladies and gentlemen, we are no longer in a revolution. I'd like all of you to know this. We are no longer in a revolution. We are in a struggle. When this thing all began, we were in a revolution because we asked for a federal system within French Cameroon. When you carry out a revolution, you change systems. You don't change form of states. You change systems. But in our case, we're not fighting to change any system within the context of Cameroon. We are fighting for our own free and independent country. So it is a struggle, ladies and gentlemen. It is a struggle. Again, I want to welcome all of you, and we will continue to ask that question. That question, who owns the land? Who owns the land? Ambazonian land. Is it French Cameroon or the people of Ambazonia? Of course, we all know the answer, but we are waiting for French Cameroon and the international community, the United Nations in particular, to answer that question. And so until they give us an answer, we will continue to ask the question, who owns the land? Papa's land, our ancestral land. Who owns the land? We have the answer. We want the world to give us the same answer. Ladies and gentlemen, again, it's a pleasure. Go ahead, hit your share button. Let me get 700 people in the next 5 minutes. In the next 5 minutes, let this be a marathon. Hit your share button. Ladies and gentlemen, 700 people, and I start talking business. I start talking business with you. Let me find out who is joining me here right now on the social media. This is very important, as I forget, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you may have realized we have only so many hours to broadcast on the social media, particularly Facebook. Facebook gives everybody only a maximum of 3 hours to broadcast live for any given day, only 3 hours. So when we are in a draft and abruptly ABC shuts down, it is not because of us here in the studio. It is Facebook shutting it down, and when they shut it down, it means we must have exceeded their maximum 3 hours. However, when Facebook shuts it down, YouTube is still on. Because I realize that many people want to stay put and watch until the figures are read. But unfortunately, they are turned off by Facebook. That is very, very true. It is not our fault. It is Facebook doing that. But when that happens, you can just switch over to YouTube and you'll be able to just continue watching. Go to ABC YouTube or just type Chris Ano YouTube and you will find us still streaming live on the YouTube. So please, that is it. Go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Hit your share button quickly. I like the pace at which the numbers are rising. Quickly, let's have 700 people. 700 people so I can come to you with very, very vital updates about this struggle, So please, let's do so right now. Right now, okay? So let me see who is joining. Please, as you join, I call upon you, hit your share button in the next 3 minutes. In the next 3 minutes, give me 700 people on this Facebook platform. In the meantime, let me see who is here. In Benwell, Cletus, we shall create our own Amber Facebook. I agree with you, sir. In fact, we are looking for developers. If you are out there, you are Ambazonian, you are a developer, please join us. Join ABC. If you are out there and you are a webmaster and you can work very effectively on WordPress, please, we need your service. We need your service. Join ABC. You can see that our Facebook ABC website has been stagnant since day one that it was created. No updates. That wasn't our intention to have it so. We want people the world over to be able to go over to ABC website to read daily news coming especially from ground zero. We want to use that website not only to stream ABC, but also to tell our own story by ourselves. So if you are out there and you are a webmaster, you can work very, very efficiently, effectively with WordPress. Please reach out to me. We definitely need your service. So please do so. I see Ngare Bulov. Yes. I see also Wisdom Jim, Ambazonia, one for all. Yes, we can. I love the enthusiasm and the excitement out there. Papi Bobo, much fire, Secretary Chris. All right, thank you, sir. You know I always do, right? Okay. I see also June Boy or Jine Boy, Tamo, General Mala on board. Okay. Taba Emmanuel, watching from Fortabe, Manu, Upper Banyan County. I hope you are all safe there, sir. God bless all of you out there in Manu. You guys are doing a fabulous job there, and I know that those cronies of Paul Biya, the Tabe Tandos and the rest, no level of intimidation and attacks and insults from them will make Manu to pull away from this struggle. This struggle, most essentially, I mean, warfare essentially started, ladies and gentlemen, in Manu. And I know Manu is up to the task. Nothing, no form of division, no form of attacks from the elite will pull back Manu. God bless Manu. God bless Manu. You know you are my neighbors in the BLM. I hope you are all showing up tomorrow, Sunday, June 14, to support the BLM draft. Looking forward to seeing all of you, my manual friends out there. God bless you all. Please hit your share button. The numbers are slowing down. Please go ahead quickly. If you are joining, hit your share button. Let's populate this platform so I can speak to you from the bottom of my heart. All right. Larry West, greetings, Comrade Chris. Match fire. Thank you, sir. God bless you. I see Marcel Ravalomanana. Wow, taken. All right. See you, sir. Prayers, amen. That is the name. I don't know why it's a she or he, but I see you. Martha and Joe, thank you. She says she's watching. Grace, as I know. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not hitting your share button. I still see 340 right now. You go ahead, hit your share button. I know it's a Saturday. Many people are out there, but please, no reason why we should not by now have clocked 700. Remember, this is the anchor man, okay? All right. So, Zofo Pius watching ABC Live on TV, Congo, Brazzaville. Wonderful. God bless you, sir. Congo, Brazzaville. FS watching. Julius Inji says, share. This is my guy. Thank you, sir. Robert Freeboy. I like that name, Robert Freeboy. You were born free, I guess. All right? And I hope you are not Ambazonian, because a lot of public believes Ambazonians are not free. Okay, go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers are my problem. Please do something out there. I don't care who else is on the social media. I am different. You guys know that. I am different. So hit your share number. Olivia Tegan, ahead, Sir Chris. She says, thank you, ma'am. Talam Fred. Hi, Chris. You are the best. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. FR says 500,000 what? $500,000 for the BLM. I look forward to that. I think if we can beat Mezam, I'm telling you, then the BLM alone can beat La Republic. Now, one thing you guys should know is this, ladies and gentlemen. Mezam is a huge county. Mezam is a huge county. Mezam has, is it 9 or 7? 7 counties, I believe. 7 counties. The BLM has only 3. I'm sorry, Mezam has 7 LGAs, local government areas. 7 of them. The BLM has only 3. But I'm telling you, I'm sure that the BLM is going to beat the records. The average records, I believe. If we can beat Mezam, I wouldn't be surprised. The BLM is made up of very proud people, very proud men and women. They are warriors. They are fighters. And I like you to know, even in the colonial regime of the Germans fought in the BLM for 9 good years. Now, those of you who are very used to the footages that you see coming from the BLM, you see the image of Azi being burned, set on fire by colonial French troops stationed in Azi. That footage that we always find on BBC. That footage is from Azi. Azi is the second biggest town, or most populated town, I should put it this way, most populated town in the BLM. Now, at that Azi, there is a roundabout. That's where I come from, by the way. There is a roundabout at Azi. That roundabout, that is where our ancestors buried the heads of the Germans that they conquered. During the German war in the BLM, they killed the German captain, I don't know whether it was a captain or the chief explorer, and cut off his head and buried in that roundabout. That roundabout is right there at Azi. That is to tell you, the BLM people, they are more than conquerors. Conquerors. Yes, I should call them conquerors. And ladies and gentlemen, every BLM out there, I challenge you, let's keep up to this reputation tomorrow as we converge to drive for the warrior, for the conqueror's county. Okay, the numbers are still not to my liking, ladies and gentlemen. If you are joining, you need to go ahead, hit that share button. I see stateless citizen, always on this platform. Always on this platform. Robert Freeboy, I mentioned the name already. Moasa Felix, watching. Loveline Dora, see you, ma'am. Thanks for joining. Hit your share button, please. Hit your share button, please. Go ahead, hit your share button. I am going to take you into a brief breakout, a very brief breakout, and I will be right back. I will be right back with you. Don't touch your remote.
We get some focus. All the leaders, they made a focus. No, people don't want to bring we for back. We the born before, we know the born back. My Lord Jesus is so good. My Lord Jesus is so good. Yes. For the face for Ambazonia. Set the grace for Ambazonia. May God bless you. Mama Aringa. Oh, when I stand strong. May God bless you. We are in the war. Even after the plenty challenges. Some people want to fight me. When I put them aside, we will focus. Until Amazonia be free. When I see Sister Timothy, I know the look my distraction them. We need to focus. All my brothers, all my commanders. You tell the genocide and pray, who will be declared for we? We get for focus. Until we reach for ya. Change your goal. So be happy. So that no person will there for talk. And that one will be like, we go in for ya. We go in for ya. If you believe with me, say oh one day. God will open that door them for that praise when I will come out. Now see my child. From Basin at the top.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had fun with that piece from the field marshal himself. And I am hoping that tomorrow the field marshal himself will be speaking to Ambazonians from his cave somewhere in Le BLM. So please stay tuned for tomorrow. A great draft that we're expecting tomorrow for the BLM. Ladies and gentlemen, the numbers are very, very slow to rise. So I hope that you will continue to encourage everybody who joins the platform to go ahead and hit the share button on Facebook. And of course, you are watching on YouTube. I don't know whether YouTube has the ability to share, but thank you all for joining. Thank you, Ground Zero. Good evening, Ground One, all our refugees out there in Ground One. God bless you all for your perseverance, for your patience, for your endurance, and of course, every one of you Amber Restoration fighter who is out there in the bush, in the forest, in Bafut, in Kumbo, in all of Bui, in Wum, in the Santa, in the Ikona, in Moyoka, in Malinde, in Kumba, in Kosala, Kumba, in the Mamfe, in Akwaya, in Umojok, in the BLM, of course, all of you. And if I forget to mention your location, please, there are so many, I just can't mention all. But to all of you, the restoration forces out there, I really, on behalf of this interim government, want to appreciate all that you guys are doing out there. Please, we pray that you remain safe, you remain protected until we get to Boya. We don't want losing any one of you, because after such a huge price that you have paid, we want to shake your hands once we arrive home in Boya. So please, everything you do, make sure you are safe, make sure you are protected, and make sure our people, the civilians, are safe in your hands. Make sure the civilians, they feel protected in your hands. They should feel like running to you and never running away from you. And I want you to know, every Amber fighter out there, the civilians are your best shield of protection. The civilian population is your best shield of protection out there. And so if you treat them good, they protect you and they hide you. But you kidnap them and you take ransom from them and you steal from them, you are putting yourself in harm's way. You are putting yourself in danger. So please, restoration fighters, thank you for all of your sacrifice. Most of you, some of you have been calling me and asking for support, asking for help. I want you to know, anytime you need help, seek to know who is the leader of your county, who is the leader of your local government. If you know the leader of your county, your local government, you will never have need to call me out, because I will still have to refer you to them. So the best thing for you to do is, when there is need, when you have any form of need, call your local government leaders, your county leaders, and I can assure you they will do everything to meet your need, for as long as that need is a legitimate need. You should call them. So, ladies and gentlemen, my mouth is drying up. Okay. Coffee is good. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you very much for joining the broadcast. Let me start with something that I put out yesterday. Yesterday, I put out a write-up titled, Keeping the Records. Keeping the Records for those who are not paying. Keeping the records for those who are not paying. I have read people's comments out there and see where they are leaning, and why the majority overwhelmingly support the idea Of course, there are those out there that belong to these little groups out there around everywhere who are saying, do I think that everybody belongs to the interim government? Of course not. I am not stupid to want to believe that everybody supports the interim government or trusts the interim government or follows the interim government. Of course, I am not by any means suggesting that. But one thing is sure. Not everybody out there, for as long as you are Ambazonian, you belong to a county. You belong to an LGA. Somebody also asked the question, what about those who are paying to DAC? What about those who are paying for TOT? What about those who are paying for Changshu? And so on and so on. And is it Bank of Ambazonia or Bank of America or what? And so what about those who are paying into those other drives? My answer is simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you are paying to DAC, you are paying for TOT, you are paying into Ambazonia Bank or whatever they call it, listen to me and listen to me very, very carefully. Any organization out there that cannot subject itself to the scrutiny of Ambazonians through an audit, any organization out there that cannot put out their papers for Ambazonia to see, any group out there that cannot put out its accounts for Ambazonia to scrutinize, we do not recognize that as a legitimate organization fighting for Ambazonia. If you are fighting for Ambazonia, you should be accountable to Ambazonia, and the way you become accountable to Ambazonia is by opening your records, putting them on the table for scrutiny. Yes, that's the point. That is the point, ladies and gentlemen. If any organization claims to be fighting for Ambazonians, representing Ambazonians out there, and they are raising funds on a daily basis, but if they cannot put those funds, the accountability, if they cannot put it on table for Ambazonians to scrutinize it, as this interim government has done, then, ladies and gentlemen, they are not essentially fighting the same struggle that we all are fighting. And any organization or group out there that is led by individuals without institutions, by institutions I mean, come to the interim government, for example. The interim government is not somewhere Ekomesako. The interim government is not Dr. Abogwa, it's not Chris Anu, it's not any individual. If Sako were not there, Bongwa were not there, Chris wasn't there, others, the cabinet wasn't there, the interim government has a sense of continuity in the absence of these people. That is why when La Republique du Cameroon picked up Sisiko and they thought they killed the struggle, just in the few days, the interim government, not any individual, you know, when you pick the leader, there is vacancy, right? They thought by doing so, they have put the interim government in disarray. That did not happen. In a few days, we all came down. The interim government all came around. We sat down, picked up a temporary leadership, and we continued. When they were transferred to Yaoundé and we realized that they are going to be there for whatever time that La Republique would want to keep them, we came up with another precedent. And that is how the interim government is different from these other little groups that want to be recognized as the leader of Ambazonia. The interim government has the assembly, National Assembly, we'll call it the Restoration Council. The interim government has the judiciary, the Judicial Council. The interim government has county coordinators, call them governors or mayors if you like. We also have the LGAs. It's a down to bottom organization with accountability at every level. With accountability at every level. The LGA leaders are accountable to their people. The county leaders are equally accountable to their people. The government, the cabinet is accountable to both the Restoration Council and the people of Ambazonia. That is why the interim government can call for an audit and ask for representatives of all the 13 counties to send a member into that audit board. They sit on the table, audit the interim government, report back to the people of Ambazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the difference. And so those who think that because they give $10, $20, $100 to DAC, to TOT, to Pache, or to Changshu, whatever, or to Ambazonia Bank, or Bon, whatever they call it, listen to me and listen very, very carefully. I really do not count that as contribution towards this revolution, because I do not know which Amba fighter you are supporting on ground zero. I do not know which county, which local government you are supporting on ground zero. You want to tell us that you are raising funds, you are collecting funds to fight the work, to work on ground zero? Show us your constituency where you are fighting. But the fact is this, ladies and gentlemen, every Ambazonian out there has a county. Every Ambazonian out there has a local government. So do not tell me, because we give to some other organization other than the IG, do not tell me because you belong to some other group, you do not support the IG. So the IG should not at any time on any day hold you accountable for not supporting the drive. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We are going to hold you accountable. We are going to hold you accountable at the end of the day. And that is the reason why I brought up this argument or this suggestion that it is time that the county leaders, the LGA leaders, begin to create record of every war supporting Amba draft paying member, and that also include even my trip to Boya. Yes, I think the central government should be able to furnish the counties and the LGAs who paid for my trip to Boya, so that too can be included in the records. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that we are going to get to Boya is sure. There is no doubt about it. If you are out there and you are still sitting at the fence and thinking that, this thing is not going to happen, it is going to happen. I believe by now, most of you would have known this, that Boya is a matter of time. It is going to happen, and it will surely happen. Do not say you are sitting on the fence. Do not say you are neutral. Let me tell you, this war, we did not ask for it. And this war, we're not going to liberate the BLM and leave Mancon or leave Mezam. We're not going to liberate Fako and leave Menchum. We're not going to liberate Donga Mantung and leave Meme. Never. We must free every single territory that was given to us at independence. Every single inch of that territory, we're going to free it. And if you think you can belong, you can be a citizen of this territory and think that you can stay in the fringes and take a neutral position, possibly because you got some wealth, some investments in French Cameroon, and you are not going to support this war because you just want to go back there and enjoy your investment. Please, the moment will come. If you don't pay now, if you do not support the struggle now, it will be quadruple. It will be quadruple once we get to Boya, and you must pay. I think we must learn, ladies and gentlemen, from the Eritreans who have walked this walk we are walking today. The Eritreans charge 20%, ladies and gentlemen, 20% of every Eritrean salary working in the diaspora. They were paying 20% of their salary on a monthly basis. Can you imagine, for all the 30 years duration of the Eritrean war? They paid it until their victory came. And when their victory came, they went back to Eritrea. Is it Asmara? Yes, the capital is called Asmara, I think so. Now, when they got back to Eritrea, you know what happened? Those who refused to form the war of liberation, the war of freedom, were made to pay thousands upon thousands more into rebuilding Eritrea. This is what must happen, ladies and gentlemen. This is what must happen in every county and local government in Ambazonia. The county leaders, the LGA leaders must begin to create those records. You must know those families from your community, from your quarter, who are not supporting the war. It is a must. You must know them. You must know them. You must create those records. Go into your communities. You go into your local government. You look for the fondoms or the chiefdoms, whatever they are called, the quarters. Censor those quarters and know which family in that quarter that lives in the diaspora that is not funding the war. Now, you don't have to do anything. We're not asking anyone, any fighter. No, not at all. We're not asking any fighter to go and attack those families. Absolutely not. You do it, well, you do it on your own, and the consequences will be yours. What we are merely saying is the records should be kept. When we get back to Boya, they will have to pay because the records will be there. The records will be there. They will have to pay just as the Eritreans paid when they went back to Eritrea after their independence. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want every one of you to pick the phone, call your county leaders, call your local government leaders, and tell them we want those records. We want those records to be kept. Those records must be kept because we cannot be fighting a war for 8 million people and less than 2,000 people are paying for it. Absolutely. We cannot be fighting a war for 8 million people and less than 2,000 are paying for it. When we conducted my trip to Boya, ladies and gentlemen, we came up with a little over $800,000. Some people out there telling lies, saying, "Oh, they raised 200 million, they raised $2 million, $2 million, $1 million." Ignore that nonsense. We raised a little over $800,000. That is peanut, compared to the population of Ambazonia that is in the diaspora. Over 2 million. Over 2 million. Just imagine the Washington, D.C., Maryland axis. How many Ambazonians live within this territory? The Washington, D.C., Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland axis. Just imagine how many Ambazonians live in that axis. If every one of them would just come out there and put down $500, ladies and gentlemen, we will not need to look to Asia where they are struggling over there just as in Africa to make money. We may not be looking for ground zero or anywhere in Africa for money. We will just have enough coming in from that axis of Virginia, D.C., and Maryland to take care of this war. But unfortunately, that is not what is going on. Many people are claiming neutrality. Let me tell you, the moment is coming when you will regret your neutrality if you will not identify yourself with this draft. And listen, we are not asking everybody to put your face out there. I know there are so many people who have good reasons not to put their faces out there. We understand that. Those people, if they can make a phone call and say, "Hey, Chris, listen, I don't want to put my face out there, but please take this 1,000, take this 500, take this 2,000 for the drive. We understand that. In fact, during my trip to Boya, somebody called me and said, Chris, listen, I have $5,000. I want to pay it in cash, because I don't want any receipt. I don't want any paper. I don't want my name anywhere. But he said, I have $5,000 cash. And I said to this guy, wonderful. Yeah, we have no problem with that. I called the treasurer, whom you all know then, and I said, hey, I connected him with the guy. He went and picked the money. And this guy stayed behind. Nobody knew. He gave a dime. But he gave $5,000. We don't have problems with people who want to hide their faces, but who want to support the struggle. And I know very many people are doing like this. But for those of you who do not know you can do this, please, you can do it, you can donate, you can contribute without showing your face out there. And I promise you, we will never, ever expose your identity if you do not want your identity to be put out there. So please, again, we want you, wherever you are, join the draft for your county, especially the counties that are yet to draft. Please join your counties. Let me speak to our elite in Yaoundé, in Douala, in Bamenda, in Boya, Kumba, Victoria. Let me speak to you. This draft does not exclude you. This draft does not exclude you. When we finally get into Boya, you will be the ones running up to those in charge to say, hey, you know me, I am this, I am that, blah, 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 blah. We know people like you. We know people like you. But let me tell you, we also understand the reason why some of you would not want to put your faces out there, especially being on ground zero. But let me tell you, as some are already doing, I know of so many elite on ground zero who have called and said, listen, we want to support, but we don't want our names, we don't want our records anywhere. Just know who gave you the money. I have people who have called me and donated $1,000. That is over 500,000 CFA francs from Yaoundé. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not lying to you. Those who have worked with me know what I am talking about. So, but I can never. And these people are working in big organizations, big ministries on ground zero. But they call and they said, please, I want to support, but I don't want my name out there. This is what we want of you, the elite. Whether you belong to the CPDM, you belong to the SDF, you belong to whatever organization, whatever ministry, whatever group, listen, we will take your money to fight for our country, to fight for our territory. And we are asking you, we know that so many of you out there, you may be singing La République in your offices, but your heart is not in La République. Your heart is in your homeland, Ambazonia. I am appealing to all of you right now. You can support this struggle by donating, drafting into your county, whether be it Mezam, whether be it Momo, be it Fako, be it Manu, be it Lebialem, Menchum, Dongama, Chung, wherever you come from. Do not say that, oh, we have been fighting together. Yeah, we have been fighting together, but we know that even though we fight, you are still with us. Your spirit is with us in this struggle. We know that. And trust me, again, I can assure you, your name, your identity will never be put out there. Look at me, eyeball to eyeball. Your identity will never be put out there if you will support draft for your county. So I am challenging all of you, the elite, the ministers, the directors, the general managers, the so-called DOs, the so-called mayors. We want you to put your hands in your pocket and support this struggle from ground zero. All you need to do is pick up the phone call, make a phone call. Some of you have my phone call out there. You can look for it. I can't have it on the screen, but when you call, I will direct you to your local government or your county, and you will make that draft to your own county. And again, I promise you on ground zero, your name, your identity shall never be put out there. But if you say, like others who are saying, oh, we are neutral and we do not want to support the so-called independence for Ambazonia, I can promise you that independence is coming. It is coming. And if you don't support it now, you will support it in a very, very regrettable way. In a very, very regrettable way. When we have arrived, Boya, better have your name in the good books today. Have your name in the right books today. So that when we arrive, Boya, on that great day, that great reunion day, when we see you, we will not scorn at you and say you stood on the way, you fought against the struggle. We will nod our heads and shake your hands and say, brother, we quarreled, we fought, but you did the right thing by supporting the struggle. Welcome to our new country. Welcome to the fold. That is what we want to do once we arrive, Boya. So please do so. Let this not be too late. But let me emphasize this again, ladies and gentlemen. Any family in the diaspora that isn't supporting the struggle, if you don't want to support the interim government, that is understandable. But you have your county. You have your county and you have your local government. These funds are going directly into your county. The interim government is not going to use the funds, not even for lawyers that we need every day, not even for diplomacy that we need to carry out every day. But the funds are going into your own community, immediate community, to support struggle activities in your own community. That is the reason why I am saying every community leader, every LGA leader, and every county leader who is serious out there must begin from now to keep the records of who is supporting this struggle in their community, especially those in the diaspora. In the diaspora, we don't want to task those on ground zero, even though many of them continue to want to sacrifice for this struggle. I had somebody call me yesterday from ground zero. I had somebody call me yesterday from ground zero during Amber Focus program, and he said, Chris, I live on ground zero. I am retired. I don't have a lot of money to give, but I have some 100,000 francs I would love to donate. I would love to give to my county. He is on ground zero, ladies and gentlemen. He is also retired. This is a man above 70 years old. Above 70 years old. He may never live to see the day we raise our flag permanently in Boya. He may never. But he called and said, Chris, I am retired. I am on ground zero. I need to know how I can pay in 100,000 francs. 100,000 francs. This morning as I wake up, I got another person calling me and saying, in fact, there were two of them, one yesterday and one today. They called me and said, Chris, I am in Gabon. I am in Gabon. I just need to know. I have 50,000 francs. I need to know where and how to send it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a displaced person, a refugee in Gabon who is desperate out of the meager salary she probably makes. She wants to put in something. And there are so many people like this. I also remember during the time of my trip to Boya, a lady called me up from Bamenda and said, Secretary Chris, We don't have a lot of money, but we really want to contribute to this my trip to Boya. She gathered her friends and they sent in 70,000 francs. 70,000 francs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about people on ground zero. And you are in the diaspora. You have your bed to go to every night. You are sure of your 3 square meals every day. You are sure to wake up and see your children all alive. You are sure to wake up every morning to go out and carry out your activities. But these people on ground zero, on ground one, they have nothing to look up to. But they are desperate. They are desperate to support this struggle. That is the reason, the most reason why every record must be kept for those in the diaspora who should support this struggle, but who are not doing so now. That has to be done. Again, the counties, the LGA leaders, community leaders, they should take care of this. And if you come from any county, ladies and gentlemen, you watching me, be you on ground zero in the diaspora, get behind your county and LGA leaders. Let this register be erected in every LGA. Let this record be erected in every LGA so that those who do not pay now, will have to pay. Will have to pay when we get to Boya and pay double. I learned that in Eritrea, if you did not pay, if you did not support the war, the Eritrean war, you go to Eritrea, you could not do a wedding. Ladies and gentlemen, you could not do a wedding. You could not buy land or build a house. Even when you got a piece of land. There was absolutely no economic, no social, political activity that you could carry on in Eritrea if you were not supporting the war. And we are going to follow up with this. I am appealing to you. Never you say you were not told or you did not know, because this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Every Ambazonian must make up his or her mind to pay for this war. Again, we are fighting for 8 million people, and we're not going to have less than 2,000 people paying for it, because I have realized ladies and gentlemen, that in this struggle, only some few people, select people, they have selected themselves. Only a few select people are paying for the bills. They are always there. You call for ABC Amber Club, the same people show up to donate to support. You call for CID payment, the same people are the ones paying CID. You call for the war draft, they are the same people who pay for my trip to Boya are the same people who are paying for the war draft. No, we cannot let this impunity go on and on till we get to Boya. No, I am putting out the warning that if you do not pay now, if you will not pay now, the time is coming. You can ignore what I say to you now, but listen, the time is coming. Boya is sure. Boya is sure. You will pay. You will pay. And that is why every Ambazonian must hold their LGA leader, their county leader, to make sure that the record book is created for those who are paying for this war. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to do this. We have to do this. Nobody should tell us they are not supporting the war. If you are not supporting the war, when we get independence, will you deny to go to Ambazonia? Will you not call that your country? Won't you be proud of it? So please, please, do not say you are neutral. You do not want to support the war. You do not want to stand by the war. No, this is a collective destiny. We who are fighting for it is not because we went and looked for it. It's not because we declared war. It was brought upon us, and we cannot be cowards to sit still to see our people enslaved forever forever. We cannot allow this to continue to go on. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot see generation after generation remain slaves under La République du Cameroon. You must pay for the war. Every Ambazonian must pay for the war. And if you will not pay now, you will pay when we get to Boya. That is it. That is final. That is final. So please, Ambazonians, the ball is in your court. Hold your county leaders. Hold your AGA leaders. Let the record be created. And everybody out there, please, you don't want to be victimized when Boya is no longer a project. Belong. Find your county. I'm not saying look for the interim government. I am saying look for your county. Look for your community. Look for your local government. One thing, let me also say, ladies and gentlemen, I have visited quite a number of community cultural groups in the diaspora. Whether it be Mancon, whether it be Nkwen, whether it be Le BLM, Le Wo, Le Bang, Santa Bafut, I have observed one thing that is very, very strange. I have observed one thing that is very, very strange in these cultural groups. You walk into these cultural groups and they tell you, oh, we don't want to discuss politics. We don't want to discuss anything about the revolution. We don't talk revolution here. We don't do this. Ladies and gentlemen, that is cacophony. Yes, that is cacophony. That is, how do I call it? You do not want to discuss revolution? If it were party politics, I will understand. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no political parties in Ambazonia yet. No, absolutely not. There are no political parties in Ambazonia. In Ambazonia, there is only the struggle. The mission is one: independence, freedom. And you sit in your cultural groups and you say you don't want to talk politics, you don't want to talk the struggle. Where do you come from? Where do you come from? Where do you come from if you cannot as much as discuss what is going on in your own communities? If all the cultural communities in the diaspora were cooperating and working, which of course I know most of your members outside, they are working with the struggle. But just imagine if all the cultural groups were telling their group members and saying, this struggle is our struggle, we must fund the struggle, and they are even collecting $10 every month or $20 every month to support a project. I'm not saying support the interim government, to support a project. We have internally displaced over 700,000. They are from your communities. They are from your communities. Over 700,000, over 100,000 refugees from your communities. And you sit in your cultural groups and say you don't want to discuss politics. What politics? What politics? Do we have to abandon our people to the international community? When they don't know what they eat, they don't know what they're sleeping on. If all the cultural groups sitting in their gatherings would come together and say, listen, every month as we gather here, we're going to contribute $10 each to support our people, the displaced, to support we are in the era of COVID-19. We are in the era of COVID-19. Let me challenge you, all you cultural, Ambazonian cultural groups out there. How many of your groups have donated COVID-19 material to send to your people on ground zero? How many of you? How many of you have done that? You are afraid because if you talk about it, some people will say it is politics. It is politics. Supporting your people who are being killed, who are dying every day, it's politics. If it is politics, then we shouldn't have gone into this in the first place. It was politics when Tarzan and others said, They will no longer accept French teachers and French attorney generals and French judges in our courts. It was politics from day one. Exactly that. It was politics from day number one, ladies and gentlemen. And so, please, let us change our mentalities. Let's change our mentalities. We got to change our mentality. Let us see this struggle as a collective struggle. Let's not abandon it to a very limited minority. Let's see it as our collective struggle. If you don't want to support the interim government, it is your choice. But you are bound, you are obligated to donate, to support your local government, to support your county. That is what it is. And I hope that I have made this appeal very, very loud and clear to the LGAs, to the counties, that we will not allow people to sit on the sidelines and watch others pay for their freedom, watch others die for their freedom. We will not allow that to happen. Let's take this up, every Ambazonian. Let's take this up to every county, every local government, Let's take this up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be right back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Jesus is so good. My Lord is so good. My Lord is so good. Let me sing for my country. Oh yeah. Oh, Amazonia. Oh, my leader. When this war don't do them for grace. All my sisters, all my brothers, for the whole Amazonia, they want them for prison. Oh, Papa, that's some for condemn prison. Father, Samuel, God bless you, Papa. No one has stay strong. And all the leaders for Amazonia, when they for prison. Let us see one now. We don't go tire. For some years we talk about Boya. But now with the push close to that foot of the mountain, for the White House, the presidency for Southern Cameroon. For Boya. We get some focus. All the leaders, they made a focus. No people don't want to one bring we for back. When the born before, not the born back. The Mabonde, when 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 the Mabonde. My Lord Jesus is so good. My Lord Jesus is so good. Hey! Yes.
Amazonia. St. Chris for Amazonia. May God bless you. Mama Arimba. Oh, when I stand strong, may God bless you. We are in the world. Even after the get plenty challenges, some people want to fight with. When I put them aside, we will focus until Amazonia be free. When I see Sister Timothy, I know the look might disrupt for them. We need to focus. All my brothers, all my commanders, you can't enjoy the sun, don't be declared for way. We get for focus. Until we reach for ya. They say they take a go. For 3 hours. So that no person over there for talk. And that one Nigeria. We go reach for ya. We go reach for ya. If you believe with me, say oh yeah. I'm not gonna stand strong. Even when I suffer out, when I know to one day, God will open that door them for that prison when I will come out. Now, too much from Basin at the top.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put in there. We have county roads coming up next, right after me in about 30 minutes. But before I go, I really want to make this special appeal to all of you out there to show up tomorrow in the BLM County Drive. The drive is starting at 5 p.m. I think it's 4 p.m. Amber. Of course, that will be a Zoom town hall starting at 4 or 5 p.m. Amber. The link to the drive, I guess, is circulating out there in the social media. It's a long link for me to put out here on television, but you will easily find it in one of the social forums or fora out there. So I really want to appeal to you, if you support what we are doing out here, support Field Marshal, support myself. I have been tasked to draft at least $10,000, ladies and gentlemen, for my basket. And I want to count on all of you out there to please show up tomorrow to support Secretary Chris, support Field Marshal. Field Marshal has particularly been a blessing to this struggle, not just because he is out there in the bush. God gave him wisdom to produce what he has been producing and helping with other LGAs and other counties. And we think that if we have much more money out there, they can do even more. They can do even more to continue to support other LGAs and other counties. And of course, he is also very friendly with the other generals, commanders, captains, you name them, on ground zero. He continues to be an inspiration to them. And let me also say one thing. When this war first began and Field Marshal went out to start the Red Dragons in the BLM, he was a little rough. He was a little rough, just like any other general you could imagine out there. And but with time, he has become, I mean, some of you will remember there was a time I put an audio out there warning him to stop doing certain things. That is my own direct junior brother. He is the one who follows me from my mother. But he was doing things the funny way. That was when they started. And when he knew that I was going after him, coming after him, he wouldn't pick my phone, he wouldn't pick my calls, until I had to do an audio on him and put out. Some of you must have heard that audio. I put that audio out there, and as things went on, he began to listen to instructions, he began to change, he began to do things the right way. I can assure you he is an example of a leader that we have on ground zero. The people in the BLM, where they have the Red Dragons, they will tell you they don't harass anybody. They don't task anybody. We have let them know that their security depends on the people in the community. If they are not in sync with the people in the community, you never know who is sitting in his home in the community and calling the BIROs, calling La Republique to betray them where they are. But you never see that in the BLM. You never hear that, oh, a civilian in the BLM betrayed the Red Dragons. In fact, since this war started, the Red Dragons, they've not lost up to, I don't think they've lost up to 10 fighters. 10 fighters. I'm not so sure. One of the reasons is that they have behaved themselves. They have grown from maturity to maturity in the course of the war. They have grown from maturity to maturity in the course of the war. They do not abduct people. If they pick up anybody, that person is either an enabler or a traitor. That is it. But you will never hear them pick up somebody, abduct somebody, or steal from somebody. That does not happen. Just imagine if we had all our forces in Bui, in Wum, in Fako, in Meme, in Indian, in Bangam, everywhere, acting this responsible, our people will not be crying foul every day. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no day that passes without me receiving a text message, a phone call about harassment from some fighters. Now, what I cannot tell is whether all those fighters I receive reports about are Ambazonian restoration fighters. That is what I cannot tell. But there is no doubt many Ambazonian restoration fighters misbehave. We don't want to tolerate that. But I am saying this guy, Field Marshal, has grown from maturity to maturity. They have built serenity, tranquility in their community. You don't see them fighting among themselves in the Dragons. No, they don't fight among themselves. You don't hear anything. Those guys that you are hearing, you see them at a DDR or what? Making videos, recently making videos about this. One of them said he started the Red Dragons, blah, 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 blah. That is the guy, in fact, that Field Marshal saved only, I think, 2 months ago. Only 2 months ago, Ayeke and his boys went to his home and almost killed him. He succeeded to escape, called for the Red Dragons. They came looking for him in the bush, took him away, hit him. He was with the Red Dragons for, I think, in the bush for about 2 weeks, and then he left, went and surrendered himself to the terrorist soldiers in our law, and then began to act as an informant, no, actually in Chang, and then began to act as an informant to them to the BIRs. But this is the point, ladies and gentlemen. Let us come out tomorrow. Let's support Field Marshal and the Red Dragons so they can continue to be the inspiration that they have been to all of us, the rest of Ambazonia, the rest of the fighting forces, all on ground zero. Please, let's do so. I want to see my basket filled with at least $10,000 for the BLM. And let me make this point very clear, very, very clear. Ladies and gentlemen, you go into every one of these drives. You hear a basket for the president, a basket for Irene Gua, a basket for that, a basket for Chris Ano. Listen and listen very, very carefully. These baskets that are drafted with thousands of dollars in them, none of them, not even a dime in them, goes to the president, goes to Irene Gua, goes to Chris Ano. No, they are our own way of rallying our supporters to support our constituencies. That's just what it is. At the end of the day, what is counted in that basket goes back to the county. So tomorrow, if we should raise $10,000, $20,000 in Field Marshal's basket, not a dime is going to the Field Marshal. It goes to the BLM County, because the BLM County is the one responsible for taking care of the Red Dragons, just as it applies to every other county. Mazam County is responsible, Bafut in particular, is responsible for the 7 katas in Bafut. It is not the interim government. It is not President Sako. No, it is the county and the LGA. So every dime that is raised in the name of Chris Ano, in the name of President Sako, in the name of any other person, is reverted into the general account of that county. So it is very, very important I let you know this. So please, I am again appealing to you, join us tomorrow. Join us tomorrow. Let us draft for the BLM. Join us tomorrow. Let us draft for the BLM. And let me appeal right now to all the sons and daughters of the BLM. Let me make an appeal to all of you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you, sons and daughters of the BLM, this is the moment for you. Do not want to say you want to wait until tomorrow to put in your draft. This is the moment for you, ladies and gentlemen, to put up your draft, to call for your draft. You have the phone number. You have the phone number on your screen. You do not want to wait till tomorrow to call or to join the meeting to do your draft. And this also appeals to those of you out there who may not have the time to be in the draft tomorrow. You can call between now until the draft tomorrow to make your contributions. And remember, when you make your draft, your draft goes to your local government. If you are from Alo, your draft goes to Alo local government. If you are from Wabane, your draft goes to Wabane local government. If you are from Fontem or Lebang, your draft goes to Fontem local government. That is the way the things have been scheduled to work. So please call that number now. When you call to draft, let the receiver know which local government you are drafting for. If you are calling to draft for Chris Ano, let him know. You are calling to draft for Field Marshal, let him know. You are calling to draft for any LG, let him know. So please go ahead and you make your call right now. Go ahead and make your call right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to leave you here because of the other program that is coming up, Amber Roots that is coming up right now, I am going to leave you right here, and I look forward to coming back to you tomorrow. I shall be here tomorrow, actually, with some exciting guests. I shall be having Irene Ngwa with me here tomorrow, and some BLM community AGA leaders. They shall be joining me just before the draft. So please stay tuned and continue to glue yourself on ABC, and those of you on Ground Zero, I want you to go home sleeping on your bed in peace and knowing victory is coming. It is coming. It is very sure. And La Republic is very, very jittery. Very, very jittery right now. A lot is going on there. When they see the amounts of money we are drafting, they are asking ourselves. Somebody wrote to me from CRTV and said, they are jittery, they are all over the place wondering what we are going to do with the money. And I said to her, you know what? We told them this is a war draft. Why should they be wondering what we are doing with the money? It's a war draft. That is the subject. That is the title. And yes, it is. Good night.
My Lord Jesus is so good. My Lord Jesus is so good. Yes. For defense, for Amazonia. Set the grace for Amazonia. May God bless you. Mama Aringa. Oh, when I stand strong, may God bless you. We are in the war. Even as we get plenty challenges, some people who they find me. When I put them aside, we will focus until Amazonia be free. When I see sister team master, I know the look might be stuck for them. We need to focus. All my brothers, all my commanders, you can't enjoy the sun and pray. Don't be declared for way. We get for focus. Until we reach for ya. Get go. So free army. So that no person who will there for talk. And no one will do that. We go in for ya. We go in for ya. If you don't believe with me, say oh yeah. Give up. When they go for prison, they don't know what they do. They don't buy wisdom. They don't for Boya. They don't do what they love for now. Then when I get hurt, I know when I stand strong. Even when I suffer out, when I know so one day, God will open that door for that prison when I will come out. Now, too much at the top. Take it.
You can see the people moving into the Fun's Palace of Fonju. You can see the Fun's entrance. The people moving into the palace. As you can see, that is the entrance into the Fun's Palace. See the giant crowd that's going to move into the palace to hoist the second Ambazonian flag at the palace of Fonju. You can see the people declaring their independence. The people of Ambazonia celebrate the day, 1st October 2017. The people have taken their... That's the Fun's Palace of Fonjumeta. Alors, subdivision, the BLM division. You can see the people gathered already in the Fun's Palace, waiting for the huge crowd to come join for the celebration. As you can see, the huge crowd join another crowd at the Fun's Palace. You can see the huge population of about 10,000 in their number. With the Ambazonian flag presently in their hands. You can see the women of Fonjumeta. find that you come on. I will walk a long bamboo around us. Camera.